Yeah, I just want to make a short video, yes, short, about what I think of the changes to Sky One. And when you say changes, well, it's not really much of a change. Have you noticed, as a viewer on your satellite or cable or whatever, that Sky One has gone and has been replaced by a channel called Sky Showcase as of last Wednesday? And thanks to the fact that I'm sat in here on a Saturday afternoon, I'm not doing anything more interesting than making this video about telly instead of just watching it. That we get the annoying motorbike outside. Well, as of last Wednesday, the historic Sky One that has existed under that name since 1989 disappeared to become Sky Showcase. But in reality, not very much has changed. So a little brief history is that the channel was known as Sky Channel, simply that, back in 1982. So you might not have been aware of that. There was only a few houses around the country that had cable TV, and of those houses, most of them were apparently located in Swindon. And so the programmes of Sky Channel, which I think wasn't even on satellite, or was it? When was satellite TV itself launched? Didn't exactly go out to many people. However, there was the launch of British Satellite Broadcasting in, I think, 1989, and there was Sky Television. When those companies merged from the original BSB, Sky One particularly was an important entertainment destination and one of the most compelling reasons they would have given anybody to subscribe. It launched as a subscription channel back in 1992, and that was when it was the exclusive home of The Simpsons, which was a groundbreaking show at the time, full of satire about popular culture and so on, and the American family, and now it's just been going on forever. And it was the only place to watch it. And that was why Sky One was originally an important channel, because it was also the home of US import series that you couldn't watch on free-to-air channels, and they especially made sure that you couldn't. The X-Files started to gain a cult-like popularity on BBC Two when they showed it in 1993. Sky aggressively pursued the rights for Sky One. They did that with Friends, they did it with ER, they did it with Star Trek series like The Next Generation, and then they had a host of others like Stargate. But over time, there were more channels launched. A good example would be E4. A lot more of them were competing for US first run rights, and so Sky decided to make its own programmes more, particularly from the late 90s into the noughties. So in the brief history, there's been some fairly popular ones amongst them, but most are not that well known. Around the turn of the millennium, Time Gentlemen Please was probably one of their lesser hits, but pretty good, with Al Murray, a sitcom set in his pub with the pub landlord. But the most well-known programmes have probably been things like Brainiac Science Abuse, Ross Kemp on Gangs, An Idiot Abroad with Carl Pilkington, and recently Brassic, a drama set in the north, no, a comedy drama, probably just a comedy actually, set in the north that involves some of the writers of Channel 4's Shameless. So it's kind of become, with that, and it being a primary entertainment destination at one point, it's kind of became unofficially a sort of sixth general entertainment channel. Probably less so than ITV2 these days though. And so they've decided to scrap the name, Sky One, and just call it Sky Showcase. But really it's the same channel, virtually. And the impression that I got about it was going to show a lot of different programmes from across the Sky channels. And if you've noticed, if you're a Sky viewer recently, rather than just watching Netflix and Prime Video and all that people are on Disney Plus, you'll notice that they've introduced more of their own branded channels, which I think is a reaction to losing more of the variety they used to have from different companies. For example, we've lost the Fox channel just recently that showed The Walking Dead and Family Guy and so on. And this will all be because they're owned by Disney now and they want people to subscribe to Disney Plus. So streaming services are taking the edge off the Sky entertainment lineup. And I think this refresh of channels has by Sky has kind of been a reaction to that. But Sky One, it gives you the impression that with this new name Showcase, they were going to show lots of things off all the other Sky channels, even just the entertainment channels, but they don't really. It's just tweaked a bit. There's a couple of films that have been added. Maybe there's the showings of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is a very popular but classic show, but it is nothing new. Instead of showing the Futurama in the week, but The Simpsons is there like it always has been. The Soccer AM simulcast is there on the Saturday morning, and on a Sunday. I mean, I wonder how many viewers have noticed this. For forever and a day, they've always had this Hour of Power broadcast, and it's still there on Sky Showcase. It's some sort of religious broadcast. They've even still got the +1 that they launched for Sky One. Still exists. They haven't bothered launching +1s for their other, channels they've launched recently, like Sky Comedy, Sky Documentaries. They seem to be showing a few simulcasts. They're showing Class Action Park, a simulcast with Sky Documentaries about a theme park with lots of accidents and litigation, therefore. And they're showing a couple of films like Jurassic World, for example. And they're showing a bit of sport output on it. It really isn't much different though, because they were already doing some of these things anyway, and the schedule's virtually the same, to the point of them having the exclusive broadcast rights to New Simpsons, but are not allowed to show, and haven't been for years, any of it on their on-demand or box sets or catch-up. Now these sections here, those boxes, catch-up TV and Sky box sets, are the only thing that makes Sky Television in 21 similar to Netflix and Prime Video, but I still don't think it kind of stacks up against what the quality of some of the things you can get on Netflix, or the variety of things you can get on it. If you take Sky's sections of catch-up TV and box sets, it does seem weaker than it's ever done. So Sky Showcase doesn't really offer anything compelling. It doesn't offer a wealth of programs across the channels. It doesn't offer a significant refresh from Sky One, because it is all the Sky One all but name, really, with a slight tweak to it. And then you've got Sky Max here, which on the same day, which was Wednesday the 1st of September, launched on 113 and pushed some of their other channels up. Best way to describe this is it's a general entertainment channel. It's like Sky 2, but Sky 2 has kind of morphed into this Sky Replay, which they've never provided in HD. So the only sort of net gain that we had for Sky subscribers was the launch of this Sky Max channel in HD, but that only really makes up for the loss of Fox and quite a few other channels that we've lost recently, such as Lifetime, which removed, Vice was removed, TCM removed their Turner Classic Movies, removed their channel in HD, so it's SD only, and the same happened a few years ago to Eden, which is mainly shows BBC documentaries, so that was in HD. When they launched the Gold channel, which is their most popular one, in HD, they took Eden away on the same day in HD. So yeah, I don't know what the future is, but I think what they're trying to do now is keep themselves more relevant, and it seems quite weak overall what you can get on ordinary Sky TV if you're not considering even the movie channels or sport. But I do have to admit that having a lineup of their own branded channels in general entertainment is probably the best thing that they can do in response. So that's it. That's kind of the review of Sky Showcase. So just to end the video, this is what we've now got in general entertainment: Sky Showcase with a +1, Sky Witness, and that channel used to be Living, but following Sky's acquisition of those channels, and they rebranded it Sky Living, they've decided to, in 2018, rebrand it totally as Sky Witness, which is all crime drama, US crime drama at that. Sky Atlantic now has nothing funny on it. It's just the HBO stuff. the American stuff that's heavy, like The Sopranos and Game of Thrones. There, as you can see, because they've got a Sky Comedy now, Sky Max, second gen on entertainment offering. Really, a new Sky 2. Sky Comedy is all sitcoms, sometimes stand up, like that. And now there's a slight tweak. They didn't have any of their own British sitcoms on it, which Sky One just has a handful. They are now showing Trolleyed. Wow, Trolleyed has made its Sky Comedy debut. Wow, drum roll, from next Monday. So the other thing that they've done on Sky One really is show the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which would be quite, if they hadn't decided to actually take away the name, would be quite a sensible choice, a classic program that most people like to show at tea time before The Simpsons. And really, for years, I think they've struggled with this before The Simpsons because they've just been showing repeats of Futurama, Modern Family. The Middle would suit this slot, wouldn't it, if they had the rights to it? Malcolm in the Middle. They've showed Married with Children. It's kind of, if they haven't got much of a hit program, but Fresh Prince has only appeared there because of this channel refresh. They could have just left it as Sky One. Everything else is there in place. So Sky Comedy, bit weak, shows Sex in the City in early evening. Curb Your Enthusiasm on here instead of Atlantic, which is, it's a good show, but. And Sky Crime, I quite like the idea for that one because it's it's part of the obsession at the moment on the media with true crime documentaries that are mostly always about murder, particularly serial killers, and not anything else. But it's refocused off the Real Lives channel. That is being shown as a simulcast on Sky Showcase, which there's no need to do. I don't think they could provide a different show. But it is all documentaries. Nothing too challenging on it, but it's fairly interesting. And the fact that it's got its own channel. I did think that recently, in the last few years, documentary channels have gone really bad with what's happened to History and The Main Discovery and National Geographic. You have to often use their more minor channels like Discovery, History and Science to get something actually interesting. So it is good to see a Sky documentary there. Sky Arts has always been fairly good. And they've also got Sky Nature, which kind of makes up for Eden not being in HD, but also you might know that there's a Love Nature channel that was exclusive to cable, or still is, Virgin Media particularly. And so now there is a similar channel on Sky. They probably know that due to the Fox Disney merger, the National Geographic channels under that ownership, they may well pull the channel as well as what they've done. They've already pulled the Fox channel at the end of July. They already pulled the Disney UK branded channels towards the end of last year, which is 2020. So the National Geographic channel could go, they know this, we've lost Vice as well. It's just, so it's not looking brilliant, it's not looking compelling. So yeah, and there's loads of programs about 9/11. So yeah, so Sky Showcase, was it really worth pulling the branding for that slight reorganisation of the channel at best? I'd probably say no. And also giving it the title Showcase is quite an ambitious name. It sort of implies that the change would be more dramatic and that it would have a lot more spread of content off the other Sky channels and not have a schedule that mostly resembles what we already got on Sky One. Those are my thoughts.